A very good morning, children. Welcome back to the English language class. Today we shall start a new lesson, and that is tenses. Okay, a little bit of recap on what we did in the last class. Well, in the last class we did parts of speech series where we completed interjection and the different kinds of interjection. We concluded the lesson with interjection and different kind of interjection. And today we will take up a lesson, as I said just now, tenses. Okay, so what are we going to learn in this lesson? This lesson tenses is also quite it's quite big, but we are going to divide this class into 3 classes. Okay, and in today's class we shall focus on what tenses and how tenses are formed, and basically we will deal on the use of present tense, the different type of present tense. Okay, all right, now let's get started. First, what is a tense? Well, a tense is a verb form that shows time. Okay, so there are 3 tenses, as you know. First is the present tense, past tense and the future tense, and 4 aspects. What are those 4 aspects? Simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. Okay, so when the tenses and the aspect combine together, when the tenses and the 3 tenses and the aspect, when they combine together, we get 12 types of tenses. Okay, I'll try to explain this with the help of a table there. Let's look at the table. See, can you see the table here? Okay, see, I've divided the table into 5 columns and 4 rows. Okay, in the first column you will see the tenses, that is present, past and the future. Okay, then on the next 4 columns you will see on the top there simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. Okay, so these 3 are the tenses and these 4 are the aspect. Okay, so when you combine, look at this, look at the present tense first. When you combine present with the simple, you form what? Present simple or simple present. When you combine present with the continuous, you get what? Present continuous. Okay, when you combine present with the perfect, you get present perfect tense. When you combine present with the perfect continuous, you get what? Present perfect continuous tense. Likewise, past simple, past continuous, past perfect, past perfect continuous tense. Likewise with future, future simple, future continuous, future perfect, future perfect continuous tense. So all together, when we combine these 3 tenses with this 4 aspect, we get altogether what? 12 tenses. Okay, so we are going to talk about all this, the use of all these 12 tenses coming up classes, but today, as I said, we will mainly focus on the uses of different types of present tense, the use of different types of present tenses. Okay, all right, now first we are going to take up what? Simple present tense. What is simple present tense and when do we use it? Look there. Well, we use simple present tense when the action is happening right now. So we're going to use simple tense when? We use simple tense when the action is happening right now. Okay, now see, there is a certain structure we have to follow while doing tenses. Like structure, by structure I mean say for example in mathematics also, to do certain sums you have a certain formulas, no? Right? Like that only in English language also, like when we are doing different types of, when we are studying or doing an exercise on different type of sentence, there are certain structures that we have to follow. Understood? Well, in present tense, see, there are certain structure. What are those? See, in present tense, if the subject means what? A doer who is performing an action. Okay, in present tense, if the subject is I, you, we, they, then we use the verb without s. Okay, and if the subject, what is the subject? Subject means who? Or the person who is doing an action, right? If the subject is he, she or it, then we have to, or we use what? S with the verb. So this is the structure, but all this what I said verbally, let us see with the help of a sentence example that will give you a better idea, okay, or a better understanding. Okay, just look at the same example number 1. First example, I play with my baby every day. I play with my baby every day. What is the subject here? The subject is I, isn't it? And the verb that I've used is what? Play, isn't it? So I play with my baby every day. So the subject I have used the subject I and the verb play without S. Understood? Keep that in mind. So when I say, instead of this, if I say I plays with my baby every day, does it go? It sounds very funny, isn't it? Doesn't go. That's why when the structure is, whenever you are using the subject I, you have to use the verb without S. I play with my baby every day. Okay, now look at the second example. Mr. I or he, Mr. I is a noun, he is a pronoun, so you can use either Mr. I or he. Okay, Mr. I or he sings really good. Okay, so the subject that I have used here is what? He. Okay, so when you are using he, you have to use the verb with what? S. Understood? So Mr. I or he sings really good. The structure doesn't allow you to say he sing very well or he sing really well. No, he sings really well. Okay. Now, when you look at these two sentences, what do we see? The first sentence talks about my habit or a routine that I do every day, like I play with my baby every day. So in the first sentence talks about the habit or a routine that I do every day, whereas the second sentence is a fact. It is not a routine. The second sentence is a fact about Mr. I's ability, understood, to sing or what. So see, these are the two main uses of simple tenses. Okay, it's not tenses, simple tense. These are the two main uses of simple tense and the example that we saw. So the main point that you have to remember here is that in present tense, if the subject is I, you, we or they, we have to use the verb without S. I'm talking the verb. And in case of the subject that you're using is he, she or I, then you have to use what? A verb with S. Okay, so that is simple present tense. Now let us see the second one. What is the second one? The second one is present continuous tense. Okay, see, how do we make present continuous tense? What is the structure for making present continuous tense then? Well, we make present continuous tense with subject plus either am, is or are plus verb with ing word, a verb which ends with ing. Understood? So the structure or the formula to make present continuous tense is what? First is the subject. Subject who is, what is the subject? A person who is performing an action is the subject. Okay, subject plus am or is or are plus the verb which ends with ing. Okay, shall we see the example for a better understanding? Okay, for example number 1, I am playing with my baby right now. Okay, see, in this sentence, what is the subject? The subject is I. Okay, verb, am, and what is the second verb? The second verb is playing, the verb which is ending with ing. See, in the first sentence, I told you that I play with my baby every day. No, in that sentence, I was talking about my routine, my habit, isn't it? But in this sentence, what I'm saying I am playing with my baby right now. So here I am playing with, here I'm continuing, I'm playing with my baby right now. I'm not talking about my habit or a routine here. I am I'm saying that I'm playing with my baby right now. Understood? In the first sentence, I was talking about my habit, but here I am performing the action. I'm doing it. I'm playing with the baby right now. Understood? So that is the difference here. Understood? So, one more example shall we take for a better understanding? Look at that. Mr. I or he is singing in the International Theatre. So Mr. I, or you can say Mr. I or he. Mr. I is a noun, he is a pronoun, so you can use either anything, okay? So he is singing in the International Theatre. What is the verb here? Sorry, what is the subject? Subject is he or Mr. I. You can write anything. Verb is, right? And what is the second verb? It is a verb. Second verb is singing. Okay, a verb which is ending with ing. Now, in the first sentence, what did we say? That Mr. Rai sings really good, isn't it? In first, in simple tense, I'm talking about Mr. Rai's ability to sing in simple tense there. But here, what I'm talking about, I'm telling you that he's singing, he's performing the action here. Here we are not talking about his ability. Here we are talking about what he is doing here. Okay, so what he is doing here? He is singing. Understood? So these are the two instances, examples of simple continuous tense. Okay, the structure or the formula in a very simple language, you can say a formula. Okay, a structure that you have to remember while doing an exercise on a present continuous tense is what? A subject. You know what is a subject? A subject is a doer. Okay, subject plus is or am or are plus a verb ending with ing. So this is the structure that you have to keep in mind while doing an exercise on simple continuous tense. Okay, right. Now let us see the third type of present tense, that is the present perfect tense. What is the present perfect tense? Let's see. A present perfect tense describes the action in the past. The present perfect tense describes the action in the past, but it does not describe when it happened. Understood? Present perfect tense, it describes the action that has happened in the past, but it does not describe, when it happened. Understood? Okay. Now, what is the structure for this then? Listen carefully. What is the structure for making or constructing a sentence on present perfect tense? The structure is what? Subject plus have or has plus past participle forms of the verb. Okay. What is the structure? Subject plus have or has plus past participle form of the verb. Okay. For better understanding, let us see the sentence example. Well, okay, before that, when we say, I told you have or has, either have or has. See, when do we use have? Say, we use have or we say have if the subject is I, you, we or they. Okay, if the subject is I, you, we or they, then we will use have, H-A-V-E, have. Okay, and if the subject is he, she or it, then we will use has, H-A is has. Okay, let's see the sentence example. Okay, first, I have taught English to many students. First sentence, I have taught English to many students. I'm using the word H-A-V-E, have. Why? Because the subject here is I. Understood? Okay. So, when I say I have taught English to many students, I'm talking about here in this sentence, I'm describing, I've been teaching. When I say I have taught English language to many students, that means I have taught many, I've taught English language to many students in the past. Right, in the past. But I am not describing when. You understood? I have taught many students in the past. But I am not describing when. Understood? Okay. Similarly, second example. Look at second example. Mr. Rai or he has, has visited New Zealand 3 times. When I say he has visited New Zealand 3 times. Now I'm describing, he's past. He has visited New Zealand 3 times, but I haven't told you when he visited. In 2016, 2018 to 2020, when? I'm not mentioning the time here. Understood? Okay. So, and I'm using the word has here. Why? Because I'm using the subject he. Understood? So these are the two uses these are the two ways how we use have or has, and which is our present perfect tense. Alright, now let us see the last type of present tense, that is the present perfect continuous tense. Alright, okay, so what is the present perfect continuous it shows then? Let's see. The present perfect continuous tense shows something that has happened in the past and it is still continuing. Present perfect continuous tense I'm talking about. So a present perfect continuous tense shows something, any action that has started in the past and is still continuing in the present. Okay, so how our present perfect continuous form then? What is the structure? Well, the present perfect continuous can be formed using a structure. Structure means, as you know, in simple language, say formula is what? Subject plus have been or has been plus verb in the ing form. Okay, once again, subject plus have been or has been plus verb in the ing form. Okay, and here also, if the subject is I, you, we or they, then we will use what? Have been. Okay, and if the subject is he, she or it, then we'll use has been. Okay, right. Now let's see an example sentence in the form of sentence so that we can understand better. Okay, look at the example, the first example. He has been playing guitar since he was a child. He has been. I've used the word has been. Why? Because I've used the subject he here. Okay, he has been playing guitar since he was a child. Okay, so you see, when I say here, when I say this sentence, this shows something which has been started in the past and is still continuing in the present time. When I say he has been playing guitar since he was a child, means maybe he started playing guitar when he was 5-6 years old and he is still playing. You understood? So the action which has started in the past and it is still being continuing. So this is what? Present perfect continuous tense. Okay, well, we're going to stop the lesson right here. What we studied today is, as I said, tenses and how different type of sentences are formed using different type of tenses, not sentences. Tenses are formed combining tenses and the aspect. We saw that today, and we also saw the uses of different types of present tense. Okay. Stay tuned for the next class where we are going to talk about the different uses of past tense. Okay, till then, stay connected and stay safe.